Good morning, everyone. Everybody is requested to please rise for the start of our regular session.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our 19th regular session. This 19th regular session is now called to order. May I request the Honorable Demand to lead the prayer to be followed by the singing of the national anthem and recitation of the Gospel reading.
Let's put ourselves in the presence of God, to the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Almighty God, we stand in your holy presence as a supreme judge. We humbly beseech you to bless and inspire us so that what we think, say, and do will be in accordance with you. Enlighten our minds, strengthen our spirit, and fill our hearts with fraternal love, wisdom, and understanding, so that we can become effective channels of truth, justice, and peace. In our proceedings today, guide us in the path of righteousness for the fulfillment of your greater glory.
Sisigil sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong waga. May dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng walhating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
I am a Philippine counselor, mandated by law and administered ordinance, that without the deal with the permanent constituents and the personal happiness, peace, and prosperity, I believe in public service of myself as the guiding principle of my mission acts, and as I set up a place of local legislation. May the Almighty guide my mind and heart, the precious love of the constituents and the individuals.
Once again, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 19th regular session dated May 10, 2021. It's my time. I request our Secretary, Madam Leyland, to please call the roll.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. For the roll call of attendance for the 19th regular session dated May 10, 2021. Honorable John Ray Gavina, City Vice Mayor, Presiding Officer.
Present.
Present. Honorable John Apollo Intiles.
Present.
Present. Honorable Gregorio Duhali III, MBA, MDMG. Present. Honorable Attorney Dibona Humangil.
Present.
Present. Honorable Imetario Blase.
Present.
Present. Honorable Flucon Royal Catalan. Present. Honorable Attorney Wendell Enat.
Present.
Present. Honorable Emmanuel Pamisaran. Present. Honorable Dizon Namuag, MBA. Present. Honorable Renante Bangboy. Present. Honorable Wahid Ganain. Present. Honorable Conrad Zidor Matutino. Present. Honorable Dato Rodrigo Ambasan. Present. Honorable Danica Laika Carisma. Present. Honorable Imetario Blase. Present. Okay. All members present, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. This 19th regular session is now in order and in court. By the time, I request for our floor leader, Dr. Duhali, to facilitate our proceedings. Go ahead.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer, members of this office chamber, ladies and gentlemen, the Secretariat, fellow viewers. Nice morning to each and everyone. At this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, let me pass a resolution dispensing the reading of the journal minutes of the 8th regular session of the 8th City Council dated May 3, 2021. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. Honorable Duhali, duly seconded by Honorable Blase and Honorable Matutino. Any comments? Amendments? Objections? Hearing none, the motion dispensing the reading of the journal and minutes of the 18th regular session of the HET Council dated May 3, 2021 is hereby duly carried and approved.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. At this juncture also, let me pass a resolution for the approval of the journal and minutes of the 18th regular session of the HET Council dated May 3, 2021. Let's move this through.
Again, to Honorable Duhali, to be seconded by Honorable Anain and Honorable Alpasan. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion approving the journal and minutes of the 18th regular session of the HET Council dated May 3, 2021 is hereby duly carried and approved.
At this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, for the privilege are yours truly manifested to deliver such a short speech. May I, Honorable Presiding Officer?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Duhali.
Alright, Honorable Presiding Officer, to the members of this August Chamber, kanang-kanang sa kamay ng buwas ng buntag. Honorable Presiding Officer, Panabo nowadays has availed its progress due to the increasing development funds intended for such development, but still an increase of such funds would not address the entire necessity for infrastructure requirements of the city. There are still areas that needs to be fixed and further developed. Further, Honorable Presiding Officer, ladies and gentlemen, I made this short speech just to take action of a certain request from the barangay official coming from Barangay JP Laurel to shorten the process and take a quick response for it. And also, Honorable Presiding Officer, attached herewith is the resolution made by such barangay office. Anyway, Honorable Presiding Officer, this is just a matter of an hour ago, and let me ask the Honorable Presiding Officer that be it included to the referral, it would be such request be it referred to the Committee on Infrastructure. Thank you and good day. Kanatanan sa atong people. Salamat.
Thank you, Honorable Duhali. Your favorite speech will be referred to the Committee on Infrastructure.
Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. For 40 questions are nobody manifested to avail and the reading and referral of the proposed measure. At this juncture, kindly to acknowledge the Secretary Teresa Mulian, Madam Laila Talicumba.
Thank you, Madam Laila.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable Floor Leader, for the reading and referral of proposed measure. Under the proposed ordinance, we have one. This is A.1. This is proposed city ordinance number 17, series of 2021, entitled An Ordinance Providing Rules, Penalties, and Regulations in the Operation of Panabo City Sanitary Landfill Facility. Proponent, Honorable Attorney Wendell N.
Item 8.1 to be referred to Committee on Natural Resources and Environmental Protection.
We have none under the proposed resolution. We have 4 under the petitions, requests, and other communications. C.1 is Appropriation Ordinance number 2, series of 2020, embodying the calendar year 2021 annual budget of Barangay Balatibas, Panabo City, amounting to 3,751,391 pesos.
Item C.1 to be referred to the Committee on Finance and Operations.
C.2 is letter from Honorable Jose Relampagos, City Mayor, dated April 22, 2021, requesting for authority to enter into and sign the Memorandum of Agreement between the City Government of Panabo and Panabo City Government of Employees Multipurpose Cooperative for the installation of a vending machine in the lobby of the City Hall building for the purpose of serving both the employees and the clients of the city.
Item C.2 to be referred to Committee on Cooperatives and NGOs.
C.3 is letter from Engineer Franklin Hindiles, operator of Panabo City Square Arena, dated May 4, 2021, in partnership with Encuentro Live Corporation, or Esports, requesting the Sangguniang Panglungsod to allow the conduct of a 4-cup Bullstag Cup Derby Sabong on May 20 to 22, 2021, in the said arena in compliance with the protocol set forth by the local IITF COVID-19. Item
C.3 to be referred to Committee on Games and Amusement.
Seated 4 is a letter from Honorable John Ray Gavina, City Vice Mayor, requesting for the concurrence of the appointment of Ms. Laila Salibunga as Secretary to the Sangguniang Panglungsod, a City Government Department Head position of the Sangguniang Panlungsod Office.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the distinguished gentleman from Barangay New Visayas is raising his hand. Honorable Jesus Muang.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Wong.
Good morning, each and everyone. Good morning, Vice. We're going to pass a resolution requesting for the transfer of this measure C.4 to the unassigned business for purposes that all members of this council should be able to foster or whatsoever as far as this particular measure.
Okay, this will be Honorable Wong, to be seconded by Honorable Duhali, Honorable Bangwe, Honorable Inan. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none. The motion transferring item C.4 to the unassigned business is hereby carried and approved.
All right, then with the committee referrals, Honorable Presiding Officer, we are now on the committee reports. We have 6 items, and first let me pass a resolution dispensing the reading of the 6-item committee report. I so move, Mr. President.
This will be Honorable Duhali, to be seconded by Honorable Blase and Honorable Lamuwang. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion dispensing the reading of the 6 committee reports is hereby carried and approved.
For committee report number 3, Series of 2021, Committee on Health and Sanitation, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, kindly to acknowledge the legendary attorney, Madam Inan.
The Honorable Inan is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please allow this humble representation to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 3, Series 2021, Committee on Health and Sanitation, with respect to the option of the privileged speech of Honorable John Paulo P. Hinteres during the 12th regular session of the 8th City Council dated March 22, 2021, on the adoption of the Regional Nutrition Committee Board Resolution Number 5 and 6, Series 2020, and National Nutrition Council Governing Board Resolution Number 1, Series 2009 in the City of Panalo. I so move, Mr. Chair.
This will be Honorable Inan, to be seconded by Honorable Misaran, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Anain, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Hinteres, and Honorable Angkasan.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and declaration is now closed. We're now on the period of amendments.
Period of amendments is now closed.
Period of amendments is now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 3, Series 2021, Committee on Health and Sanitation, regarding option of the privileged speech of Honorable John Paulo P. Hinteres during the 12th regular session of the 8th City Council, dated March 22, 2021, on the adoption the Regional Nutrition Committee Board Resolution Numbers 5 and 6 and Series 2020 and National Nutrition Council Governing Board Resolution Number 1, Series 2009 in the City of Panabo is hereby carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, once again, Police Committee Report Number 4, Series of 2021. Again, Honorable Wendell Inan.
Again, Honorable Inan is now recognized as the Chair.
Again, Mr. Chair, please allow this humble representation to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 4, Series 2021, Committee on Health and Sanitation, as regards the proposed City Ordinance Number 8, Series 2021, amending Article 22, Section 189, Chapter 8 of the City Ordinance Number 2-13, otherwise known as the Code of Administrative of Ordinance of 2012. I so move, Mr. Chair.
This to Honorable Inan, to be seconded by Honorable Misaran, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Matutino, and Honorable Hinteres.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and declaration is now closed. We're now on the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 4, Series 2021, Committee on Health and Sanitation regarding proposed City Ordinance Number 8, Series 2021, amending Article 22, Section 189, Chapter 8 of City Ordinance Number 2-13, otherwise known as the Code Administrative of Ordinances of 2012, is hereby duly carried and approved.
Alright, at this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, for the third time, Committee Report Number 2, Series of 2021, Committee on Natural Resources and Environmental Protection. Once again, can we do acknowledge Honorable Attorney Wendell Mena?
Okay, again, Honorable Enan is now recognized by the Chair.
Bigyan again, Mr. Chair, please allow me to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 2, Series 2021, Committee on Natural Resources, Environmental Protection. As regards the letter from Jose E. Relampagos, City Mayor, dated February 11, 2021, endorsing the draft of the proposed Manabo City Sanitary Landfill Waste Disposal Ordinance for appropriate legislative action of the Sangguniang Pangunasan. I so move, Mr. Chair.
So, Honorable Enan, duly seconded by Honorable Comisaran and Honorable Ambasan.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Distinguished Gentleman from Barangay Grillo, Honorable Wendy Yang Mangoy, is raising his hand.
Thank you, Honorable Bonggoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just clarification and some queries of the proponent, Mr. President. Since one of the committee referral was creating an ordinance for the rules and penalties and regulation of the operation of Panabos Sanitary Landfill Facility. On this proposed resolution, or I think this is an ordinance. Ordinance. How does this affect on the next ordinance that you will be crafted on the next proceeding, Mr. President?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bonggoy. Good, Honorable Enan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, Mr. President, this proposed measure stems from the closure order issued by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, mandatorily and compulsorily ordering the closure of Palipog Sanitary Landfill. Otherwise, failure to comply with the same, the LG might be held administratively liable. Now, the end view, the end effect of this proposed ordinance will be directly passing an ordinance providing rules, penalties, regulation, and operation of the sanitary landfill today, Mr. Chair, facility. So, with the passage of this proposed measure, this will in effect allow the commencement of the operation of the sanitary landfill, Mr. Chair, and the imposition of the rules and penalties and regulation thereof, particularly the fees and the charges that will be imposed and collected from the stakeholders, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Enan. Honorable Bonggoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Is this proposed measure referring to the existing sanitary landfill in Malipog?
Thank you, Honorable Bonggoy. Honorable Enan.
This particular measure, Mr. President, has direct reference to the operation of sanitary landfill now being established in Barangay Waterfall.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bonggoy.
Mr. President, I think, Mr. President, on making such ordinance, it might affect the next measures that be crafted by the proponent, Mr. President, since the ordinance will be also in the rules, penalties, and regulation and operation of the sanitary landfill. Is the proponent is willing to incorporate these measures to the said measures of another ordinances?
Thank you, Honorable President.
From what have been mutually agreed, Mr. Chair, this ordinance will now incorporate all the matters, the rules, penalties, regulation, and operation of the sanitary landfill located in Barangay Waterfall. Now, there are only ways that can be, particular ways that can be disposed in Barangay Malitpo, which is not covered by the closure order, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bangway.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's just clarification because the referral of the committee, the referral of the secretariat on the environment is also making an ordinance in rules and penalties and regulation of the operation, specific to the Panabo Sanitary Landfill Facility. And I think the committee chair might go to incorporate this ordinance since this also referring to rules and penalties and regulation on the operation of the Panabo City Landfill Facility. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bangway. You may to say, Honorable President.
Tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Here is debate and deliberation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 2, Series 2021, Committee on Natural Resources and Environmental Protection, regarding letter from Honorable Jose Iralampogo, City Mayor, dated February 11, 2021, endorsing the draft of the proposed Panabo City Sanitary Landfill Waste Disposal Ordinance for appropriate legislative action of the Sangguniang Panglungsod is hereby duly carried and approved.
Okay, Honorable Presiding Officer at this juncture, for the committee report number 8, the Land Committee on Housing, Zoning, and Urban Development at this juncture. Kami po ang college, the District General from Barangay Visayas, Honorable Ryan Velan.
The Honorable Nine is recognized by the Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Good morning to the members of the City Council. Mr. President, would like to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 8, Series of 2021, Committee on Housing, Zoning, and Urban Development, regarding request for authority of to sign the deed of donation between the City Government of Panabo and Ernesto A. Gabaya Sr. concerning the donation of 2 road lots located at Barangay Southern Davao, Panabo City. I so move, Mr. President.
Proceed by Honorable Nanay, duly seconded by Honorable Pizarro, Honorable Duali, Honorable Lumuag, and Honorable Blasey.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and deliberation is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report Number 8, Series 2021, Committee on Housing, Zoning, and Urban Development, regarding request for authority to sign the deed of donation between the City Government of Panabo and Ernesto A. Gabaya Sr. concerning the donation of two of our road lots located at Barangay Southern Davao, Panabo City is hereby carried and approved.
For the committee report on games and amusement, committee report number 1, Honorable Presiding Officer of this juncture, we need to acknowledge the young, smart, and good looking Honorable Catalan.
Good, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Same as you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader, Honorable Duali. Good morning to each and everyone. Mr. President, this representation would like to pass a resolution adopting Committee Report Number 1, Series 2021, Committee on Games and Amusement regarding letter from Obinal S. Barcenas, owner-operator, New Malitpo Galera, dated April 20, 2021, requesting the Sangguniang Panglungsod members to allow its business to operate in compliance with the protocols set forth by IATF COVID-19. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. Honorable Catalan, duly seconded by Honorable Comisaran, Honorable Renain, and Honorable Duali.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and declaration is now closed. We're now on the period of amendment.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections on the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting committee report number 1, series 2021, Committee on Games and Amusement regarding letter from Jovenel S. Barcenas, owner, operator, New Malitbo Galera, dated April 20, 2021, requesting the Sangguniang Panglungsod members to allow its business to operate in compliance with the protocol set forth by IATF COVID-19 is hereby duly carried and approved.
Alright, Honorable Presiding Officer, for the committee report number 5, series of 2021, Committee on Ways and Means, still the perennial question every year. This juncture, can we do acknowledge Honorable Jano Paulo Intiles.
Thank you, Honorable Intiles.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. Good morning, Tangan. Mr. President, this ample presentation would like to pass Committee Report number 5, Series of 2021, Committee on Ways and Means and Government Enterprises. Regarding the offshoot of the privileged speech of our Honorable Manuel G. Comisaran, seeking clarifications on first, the assessment computation with basis on capitalization from calendar year 2019, and second, other complaints relative to permit assessments and other documents. I move for adoption, Mr. President.
To sue Honorable Intiles, duly seconded by Honorable Blase, Honorable Ampasan, and Honorable Duali. Honorable Comisaran.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and declaration is now closed. We're now on the period of amendment.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Any objections from the floor? Hearing none, the motion adopting Committee Report number 5, Series 2021, Committee on Ways and Means and Government Enterprises, regarding offshoot of the privileged speech of Honorable Emmanuel G. Comisaran, seeking clarification on 1, the assessment computation with basis on capitalization from calendar year 2019, and 2, other complaints relative to permit assessment and other documents is hereby duly carried and approved.
All right, we are through with the committee reports, and we are now on the adoption agenda. We have 5 items, the new business, and 1 motion for the unassigned business, 3.4, made by the Honorable D. Number 1. We have none for the third and final reading. Now therefore, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, let me pass a resolution adopting the calendar business of the day. I assume, Mr. President.
To sue by Honorable Duhali, duly seconded by Honorable Blase and Honorable Intiles. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion adopting the agenda of the 19th regular session of the HCT Council with 1 inclusion is hereby duly carried and approved.
At this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, first to deliver his proposed resolution number 86, series of 2021, and it will acknowledge the legendary Honorable Attorney Wendell Renan.
Honorable Renan.
Again, Mr. Chair, please allow me to pass proposed resolution number 86, series 2021, adopting the Regional Nutritional Committee Board Resolution number 5 and 6, series 2020, and National Nutrition Council Governing Board Resolution number 1, series of 2009, in the city of Panabo, and to craft an executive order for the creation of nutrition cluster. Assume, Mr. Chair.
To sue Honorable Renan, duly seconded by Honorable Comisaran, Honorable Renain, Honorable Duhali, and Honorable Intiles.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period. Period of amendments, period of debate and question is now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Honorable Presiding Officer, the author wants to amend something in this proposal.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Enan.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make some amendment, particularly on the title number 4. After the City of Panabo, and for the issuance, and for the local chief executive to issue an executive order instead to craft, and for the local chief executive to issue an executive order for the creation of the Nutrition Council. As a whole, Mr. Chair.
Okay, to sue Honorable Enan, duly seconded by Honorable Banggoy. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion stated by Honorable Enan by removing the word to craft, changing it to issue, is hereby duly carried and approved.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 86, series 2021 with amendment, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting for the motion, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Renahin, Honorable Bamisaran, the proponent, Honorable Enan, and may we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Humangil?
Yes.
And Honorable Attorney Humangil. All members present, Honorable Chair, voted for the motion.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 86, series 2021 is hereby duly carried and approved with amendment.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, at this juncture, for his proposed resolution number 87, series of 2021, can you do acknowledge the distribution of our barangay in Visayas and Bubuhay na Line?
Okay, Honorable Enan is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you again, Mr. President and Mr. Floor Leader. I move to pass a resolution authorizing Jose A. Lampagos, City Mayor, to sign the deed of donation between the City Government of Panabo and Ernesto A. Gabaya Sr. concerning the donation of 2 road lots located barangays under Davao, Panabo City. I so move, Mr. President.
To sue Honorable Enan, duly seconded by Honorable Bamisaran, Honorable Duhali, and Honorable Hintiles.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Nobody seems interested. Debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and deliberation is now closed. And now in the period of amendment.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments is now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 87, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting to grant the authority, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Muag, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Banggoy. May we know the vote of the others? Honorable Bamisaran, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Renahin, Honorable Attorney Enan. May we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Humangil? And Honorable Attorney Humangil. All members present, Honorable Chair, voted for the motion.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 87, series 2021, authorizing Jose A. Lampagos, City Mayor, to sign the deed of donation between the City Government of Panabo and Ernesto A. Gabaya Sr. concerning the donation of 2 of our road lots located at barangays under Davao, Panabo City is hereby duly carried and approved.
For the proposed resolution number 88, series of 2021, at this juncture, can you acknowledge the distribution of our barangay San Pedro, Honorable Governor Catalan?
The Honorable Catalan is now recognized by the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader. This representation, Mr. President, would like to pass a resolution denying the request of Mr. Juvenal S. Barcenas, owner-operator of the new Malibu Galera, to allow its business to operate in adherence to the Omnibus Guidelines on the implementation of community quarantine in the Philippines with amendments as of April 15, 2021, issued by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. I so move, Mr. President.
Also, Honorable Catalan, to be seconded by Honorable Omisaran, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Nanain, Honorable Duhali, Honorable Ambasan.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
The Honorable Wendell Linar, Honorable Presiding Officer, may to acknowledge.
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Linar.
Mr. Chair, may I know from the proponent why this August body should deny the request of Juvenal Barcenas Fisher? And will the proponent also thoroughly discuss the grounds, the legal grounds, why we should be denied?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Linar. Go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Honorable Interpolator. The reason why the committee denies the request is for the preservation of the health of our constituents in Panabo City, in the exercise of the capacity of the LGU to regulate businesses for in consideration of the health and this pandemic that we are facing right now. Mr. President, it was the decision of the committee was based on the IATF Omnibus Guidelines issued on April 15, 2021, which states that, among others, the operation of traditional cockfighting is not allowed in areas during declared as under the MGCQ. So that's the main reason, Mr. President, for the denial. That's the legal basis for the denial of such request. Furthermore, the IATF Panabo also stand by this rule. It was manifested nonetheless by the city administrator that they will be adhering, the IATF Panabo is adhering to these guidelines set off by the IATF amendments dated April 15, 2021. Such manifestation was also seconded by the Assistant of the City Health Office, Dr. Ernie Pangilinan, and other members of the IATF Panabo.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan. Go ahead, Honorable Linar.
Mr. Chair, I would like to be candid before this August body, Mr. Chair. There are some LGUs that have been allowing cockfighting in their respective jurisdiction. And we are also presented today with a request to allow online saho, online gaming. Now, what is the distinction, Mr. Chair, of this cockfighting? Does the law makes this distinction, online and actual cockfighting, Mr. Chair? What is unless the proponent can thoroughly explain his legendary representation, the distinction between the two cockfighting, we have left no choice but to defer the same.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Linar. Go ahead, Honorable Catalan.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. It must be emphasized, Mr. President, that what this particular request that we are dealing right now pertains to traditional cockfighting. It's the common cockfighting done in the arenas where people will enter. Such traditional cockfighting is not yet allowed in areas declared under MGCQ, as stated by these IATF guidelines last April 15, 2021. What is allowed are cockfighting regulated by the PAGCOR, or the so-called e-sabong. Such cockfighting must be registered before the PAGCOR for its implementation, and the PAGCOR sets forth its guidelines on how can a establishment or a certain entity might apply for a regulation or for a permit to conduct a e-sabong or online sabong based on the guidelines of the PAGCOR. But again, Mr. President, this matter pertains to traditional operation of sabongs of cockfighting, wherein we are left with no choice but to deny this one based on the IATF guidelines recently, last April 15. Again, what is being allowed right now based on the said guideline is the online sabong regulated by the PAGCOR. And Mr. Barcenas, its application is not online sabong, but it's for the operation of the traditional sabong. So we cannot allow that one, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Katalan. Ganun na.
Last two questions, Mr. Chair. I think the proponent is not ready, Mr. Chair.
Good.
Okay, Mr. Chair. Is the ground you have cited by the proponent exclusively written in the IATF guidelines, Mr. Chair?
Okay, good, Mr. Katalan.
Pardon, Mr. Chief.
Okay, repeat your question.
Is this grounds cited by the proponent, Mr. Chair, explicitly cited, stipulated in the IATF guidelines?
Okay, good, Mr. Katalan.
Yes, Mr. President. In fact, if the interpolator, Mr. President, had time to study this agenda, Mr. President, it was stated in the attachment, Mr. President. In fact, it's very clear right now, Mr. President, the regulations that we are following under the IATF guidelines made or issued, rather, last April 15, 2021, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Katalan. Ganun na.
I think I have no more questions, Mr. Chair, but I have further questions in the subsequent measures, Mr. Chair. I will reserve my questions. And may I remind the proponent, Mr. Chair, that he is now under oath and he may be held liable for perjury if he is asked.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Katalan. Okay, thank you also, Mr. Katalan.
Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, I think everything has been cleared out by the Honorable proponent. At this juncture, period of debate and explanation is now closed, in the period of amendments.
Here's the period of questions now closed. We're now in the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 88, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes to deny the request, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Namuwag, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Attorney Enad, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Pamisaran, the proponent, Honorable Katalan, and may we know the vote of, and Honorable Attorney Humamil. All members present voted yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 88, series 2021, denying the request of Mr. Jovenel S. Barcenas, owner-operator of the new Malitbo Galera, to allow its business to operate in the adherence to the Omnibus Guidelines and implementation of community quarantine in the Philippines with amendments as April 15, 2021, issued by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases is hereby carried and approved.
At this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, for his proposed resolution number 89, series of 2021. Once again, can I to acknowledge Honorable John Paulo Hintiles.
The Honorable Hintiles now recognized for the Chair.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Floor Leader. I would like to thumbs up. This humble representation, Mr. President, would like to pass proposed resolution number 89, series of 2021. Taking cognizance the offshoot of the privileged speech of Honorable Emmanuel G. Pamisaran, seeking clarifications on first, the assessment computation with basis on capitalization from calendar year 2019, and second, other complaints relative to the permit assessment and other documents. I so move, Mr. Chair.
The Super Honorable Inteles, you seconded by Honorable Blasio, Honorable Lamuag, Honorable Labasan, and Honorable Duali.
Period of debate and interpellation is now open.
Unit debate and interpellation is now open.
Once again, the honorable gentleman from Barangay Corridor is raising his hand. Honorable Benante Bangkoy.
Okay, good, Honorable Bangkoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Since the option of the committee is taking cognizance on the privileged speech by our Honorable Pamisaran on the computation of the assessment on the said permits and other documents. May I ask the proponent how these measures affect or what we call business-friendly environment in our city of Panama, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Bangkoy. Good, Honorable Inteles.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the question, Honorable Bangkoy. At least it would clarify that a speech, privileged speech of Honorable Emmanuel Pamisaran is somehow dili siya facts. It was found out during the committee hearing, Mr. Chair, that there were no complaints manifested and stated by the people present during the committee hearing. There were complaints sa city treasurer's office, Mr. Chair, but it is under their jurisdiction. If they found out that the assessment is sobra, and kung ma-found out na sobrang assessment, mo ano na to siya, magkaroon o tax credit for the next year. Actually, Mr. President, ang question ni Honorable Bangkoy is the city a tax-friendly city, business-friendly city? Well, the city is a business-friendly city. Of course, Mr. President, we welcome businessmen para mataas ang atong revenue. Thank you, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
thank you, Honorable Inteles. Good, Honorable Bangkoy.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask this question, Mr. President, since during the pandemic time, since we are now still on the pandemic time, and there are some instances of complaints being raised by some business sectors, especially on the assessment side. And I think to be a business-friendly LGU, Mr. President, we need to clarify those complaints, because there are some instances, like there are some ordinances of a tax exemption, Mr. President, especially on the what we call the tax incentive being implemented by our local government. And because we have already an ordinance on that, especially on business who were opening started within this year. And I think we need to have a clarifications on how this assessment being implemented and surcharges being implemented by our local government. And we need to be a business-friendly on such thing to understand the value of the business nowadays, since we are now on the pandemic. And we need to have a good, and I think a good explanations coming from our local government, and introducing some, I think some extension or exemptions to be in the business side, Mr. President. And we will be assuring that our business sector will be in a good hands of our local government. That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you, Honorable Banggoy.
Mr. President.
Honorable Teres.
Mr. President, the city has been very accommodating and friendly to our businessmen. As we can remember, during February, I think, Mr. President, the City Council has extended the filing, assessment, and payment of business permits without penalties or surcharges, and interest has been approved by us, the City Council. And also, ang deadline sa business permit, Mr. President, we extend for the first quarter until February 15, 2021. For the second quarter until April 20, 2021. Third quarter until July 20, 2021. And on the fourth quarter or sa last quarter, Mr. President, hangtod October 20, 2021. And also, Mr. President, katong ginaingon tax exemptions unta actually gipaningkamutan yun ni nato, pero it would only apply kung bago ang business and tapo ang business. Lisod man kayo, Mr. Chair, kung ato ang watang tax ang ato ang gobyerno kay dili po katuyok ang ato ang ecosystem diri sa ato ang LGU sa gobyerno. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you,
Honorable President. Okay, all right, Honorable Presiding Officer is speaking on behalf of the committee because I am the Vice Chair of the subcommittee, Vice Chairman. Anyway, Mr. President, focus on the issue coming from the privilege speech of the Honorable Commissar. And according to the proactive thoughts of the Honorable Banggoy, we will just focus on the privilege speech made by the Honorable Commissaran, and we found out during the deliberation that nobody has had complaint or has a verified complaint regarding on this matter. So we cannot act beyond the concern of the privilege speech, Honorable Presiding Officer. That's all. The Honorable Commissaran.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Commissaran.
Thank you, Mr. President, and to our majority leader. Actually, during the committee hearing conducted, although my physical presence is not around, considering that I'm on the virtual, it was stated already during the discussion, and some of the department heads who are invited explained well, no, with regards to the matter of computation. So with that, Mr. Chair, considering that I am the proponent of the said inquiry, I therefore manifest that I am satisfied with the answer of all the department heads invited, Mr. Chair, to end this issue, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Commissaran.
All right. Thank you, Honorable Presiding Officer. At this juncture, debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Here's debate and deliberation is now closed. We're now on the period of amendments.
Period of amendment is now closed.
Period of amendments is now closed. Those who are in favor of the said proposed resolution number 89, series 2021, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Namuag, Honorable Matatino, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Kamisaran, Honorable Attorney Enand, Honorable Ranain. May we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Humamil? Honorable Attorney Humamil, all members present, Honorable Chair, voted yes for the motion.
Honorable President. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed resolution number 89, series 2021, taking cognizance of the privileged speech of Honorable Emmanuel G. Misaran, seeking clarifications on one, the assessment computation with basis on capitalization from calendar year 2019, two, other complaints relative to permit assessment and other documents, is hereby to be carried and approved.
All right, Honorable Presiding Officer, item number 5 would be the second reading of the proposed ordinance number 8, series of 2021, amending Article 22, Section 189, Chapter 8 of the City Ordinance 02-13, otherwise known as the Code Administrative Ordinance 2012. Can you do acknowledge the proponent, Honorable Veterinan?
Okay, go ahead, Honorable Nan.
For second reading, Mr. Chair, please allow me to pass proposed City Ordinance number 8, 2021, amending Article 22, Section 189, Chapter 8 of City Ordinance number 2-13, otherwise known as the Code Administrative Ordinance of 2012. I so move, Mr. Chair.
Just by Honorable Nan, duly seconded by Honorable Pizarra, Honorable Panggoy, Honorable Carisma, and Honorable Teres.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and declaration is now open.
Asa mo nang go to the attachment. Door, attachment door.
Please allow me, Mr. Chair,
Okay, go ahead,
to
Honorable Nan.
proceed with the explanatory rule. The emergency clinic and safe birthing facility was established by the city local government of Panabo to operate as facility to cater for normal deliveries and minor injuries. Section 189 of Article 122 of City Ordinance number 2, Series 2013 explicitly provides, and I go, the emergency clinic shall render a 24 hours consultation and shall offer first aid treatment to emergency cases and shall refer patients in need of higher level of care to a better equipped institution, which is not duly applicable in the present case, license status of the clinic. Moreover, the outpatient department of emergency clinic facility has only the capability to cater patients with acute medical cases or consultation ranging from 8 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The gist of this legislative measure to seek to amend Article 22, Chapter 8 and Section 189 of City Ordinance number 2-13, or otherwise known as the Administrative Ordinance number of 2012, by way of renaming the current emergency clinic and safe birthing facility to City Health Office Outpatient and Safe Birthing Facility. On the premises of the foregoing, the passage of this legislative measure is earnestly prayed for, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I want to thank you, Honorable Nan.
All right, nobody wants to ask question. Now, therefore, Honorable Presiding Officer, debate and deliberation is now closed. Open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and deliberation is now closed. We're now at the period of amendments.
Period of amendments now closed.
Period of amendments now closed. Those who are in favor to send proposed City Ordinance number 18, Series 2021 for second reading, can you please raise your hand? Madam Secretary, can you please count?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Voting yes for the amendment, we have Honorable Luhani, Honorable Blase, Honorable Namuag, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Hintiles, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Balisaran. May we know the vote of Honorable Attorney Enat, Honorable Attorney Enat, and Honorable Attorney Homamil. All members present, Honorable Chair, voted yes for the motion.
Okay, thank you, Madam Secretary. The proposed City Ordinance number 8, Series 2021, amending Article 22, Section 189, Chapter 8 of City Ordinance number 2-13, otherwise known as the Code Administrative of Ordinances of 2012, is hereby carried and approved for second reading.
All right, done with the calendar business, Honorable Presiding Officer, we have one asked by the Honorable Tison Umuwag pertaining to the confirmation of the appointment of Ms. Laila P. Salatupa Plaza, MPA. Now, at this juncture, can we do acknowledge the proponent, Honorable Tison Umuwag?
Okay, Honorable Umuwag.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to pass a resolution confirming or concurring the appointment of Ms. Lina Saliguba as the Secretary of the Sangguniang Panlungsod of the City of Panabo. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. Venerable Muag, duly seconded by Honorable Matutino, Honorable Asan, Honorable Interes, Honorable Banggoy, Honorable Lanain, and Honorable Pamisaran.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
Period of debate and deliberation is now open.
At this juncture, can we do acknowledge the Honorable Wendell Linan?
Okay, good, Honorable Linan.
Alright, at this juncture, Honorable Presiding Officer, let me pass a resolution for the suspension of the House rules. I so move, Mr. President.
Mr. Venerable Wali, duly seconded by Honorable Matutino. Any comments, amendments? For the third votes, those who are in favor of the said suspension of House rules, can you please raise your hand, Madam Secretary? Madam Rebel, can you please count?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Voting favorably for the motion, we have Honorable Bahali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Matutino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Banggoy. How about Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Ranain? How about Honorable Gentiles? Honorable Gentiles? Honorable Catalan? May we know the vote of Honorable Catalan? For your vote, Honorable Catalan. Honorable Catalan. All members voted favorably, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. Madam Rebel, the motion suspending our House rules is hereby duly carried and approved unanimously.
The Honorable Linan.
Okay, good, Honorable Linan.
Mr. Chair, I would like to direct my question to the appointee. Now, Mr. Chair, let us be reminded that the appointment of the Secretary to the Sangguniang is mandatory, particularly for the city of Panabo City. Now, allow me also to emphasize that the confirmation to be made by the August body on the appointment made by the appointing authority, which is the Vice Mayor, is confined to the determination whether or not the appointee possess the minimum qualification and none of the disqualifications. Now, Ma'am Leila, are you a citizen of this country?
Okay, good, Madam Leila.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
Okay, good, Honorable Linan.
How can you say that you are a citizen of the Philippines?
Okay, thank you. Good, Honorable. Very good, Madam Leila.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I am a Filipino citizen and currently residing in Panabo City, Honorable Chair.
Minimum height requirement.
Are you a natural-born citizen or a naturalized Filipino citizen?
Okay, good.
I am a natural-born Filipino citizen, Honorable Chair.
Is that because your parents are citizen?
Yes, they are, Honorable Chair.
Now we're talking.
Okay, good.
Now, you said that you're a resident of Panabo. How long have you been residing in Panabo City, Madam Pointy?
Okay, good.
Since birth, Honorable Chair, I was technically born in Tagum, but we resided in Gamao subdivision during that time, Honorable Chair.
Okay, good, Honorable Linan.
So you are my neighbor. Now, determining whether or not you possess the good moral character, have you been convicted of any criminal case?
Okay, good.
I have never been, and hopefully will not experience being accused of anything, Honorable Chair.
Okay, good. Honorable Linan.
Have you been charged with any criminal case?
Okay, good.
None, Honorable Chair.
Now, may we know, will you please tell this August body what is your college degree, if any, and your, just answer my question.
Educational background.
Educational background.
Okay, good, Honorable Madam Leila.
Honorable Chair, I finished my bachelor's degree, Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication at the University of Mindanao, Davao City. I finished my master's in public administration, major in public policy at the University of Southeastern Philippines, and I'm currently finishing my dissertation at the University of Mindanao, taking a doctorate in public administration.
Okay, good.
Is that, you are a holder of doctorate degree?
I am still finishing, Honorable Chair, my dissertation.
Now, are you a holder of civil service degree?
Yes.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Manila.
Okay, yes, Honorable Chair, I'm profession CSC, professional eligible.
Is it equivalent to first grade civil service eligible degree?
Okay, good.
Yes, sir, it is.
Alright, I think, Mr. Chair, the appointee we have determined that she possessed the minimum qualification and none of this qualification. Now again, lastly, Mr. Chair, once this August body determines that she possessed the minimum qualification and none of the disqualification, it becomes ministerial on the part of the Sangguniang Pangungsod to appoint. We have no discretion but to confirm her appointment. So I am in favor of this appointment, Mr. Chair, and I rest my case.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Nan. Any more?
All right, maybe first, Honorable Presiding Officer, may we have some words coming from the, to be concurred, speech, Secretary.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Duali. Good, Madam Leila.
To be concurred as your Secretary to the Sangguniang, it is my job to make sure that the Sangguniang Secretariat is behind the Sangguniang Panlungsod City Council. It is our job to make it easier for you to do your work, to technically assist all your staff, as well as make sure that you will finish your work as the Sangguniang Panlungsod Member City Council, and that everything is according to what is being laid out in your IRP and what is being mandated of this office, Honorable.
Okay, thank you, Madam Leila.
The Honorable Lynette has a follow-up question.
Okay, good.
I inadvertently forgot to raise this question, Mr. Chair. We have been presented with a situation wherein there is a controversy whether or not the Vice Mayor can appoint personnel under whose budget are sourced out from the Sangguniang Panlungsod. Now, may we know from the view of the Sangguniang Secretary, what is your view on this? Because in my case, I am a firm believer that the Sangguniang, the city vice mayor has the full authority to appoint personnel whose budget are sourced out from the Sangguniang Panlungsod. Now, this is in line with the principle of separation of powers as well as check and balances, and to prevent undue interference from separate department, the executive and the legislative. What is your view on this, ma'am?
Okay, thank you about that. Okay, go ahead, Manila. You may or you may not answer.
Honorable Chair, we share the same view on the authority of the City Vice Mayor and for him to appoint personnel whose charges are from the Sangguniang Panlungsod. There are several jurisprudence citing that yes, there are separation of powers, and there are also blending of powers, but actually this situation is actually given an opinion by the civil service and the Supreme Court themselves. So yes, we have a mutual understanding on this, Honorable Chair.
Okay, thank you. Good about that.
I am for the confirmation of her appointment.
Okay, thank you about that.
All right, I think everything has been said already on our website, officer. And thank you, Madam Leila.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, beforehand, presiding officer, let me pass a resolution for the assumption of for the resumption rather, of the House Rules.
Mr. Honorable Duali, to be seconded by Honorable Matatino. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, the motion is historic and House Rules is hereby duly carried and approved.
Period of debate and deliberation is now closed and open the period of amendments.
Period of debate and deliberation is now closed. We're open the period of amendment.
Period of amendment is now closed.
Period of amendment is now closed. Those who are in favor of the said resolution for the concurrence of the RNG Secretary to the Sangguniang Pamlungsod. 1. Please raise your hand. Madam Rubel, can you please count?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Voting favorably for the concurrence, we have Honorable Duhali, Honorable Blase, Honorable Ambasan, Honorable Matatino, Honorable Carisma, Honorable Catalan, Honorable Bangoy, Honorable Pamisaran, Honorable Ranain, Honorable Enad, Honorable Gentiles, Honorable Namuwag, and Honorable Humamin. All members voted favorably for the motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Madam Rubel. The motion concurring the appointment, confirming the appointment of Mrs. Leila P. Salagumba, MPA, as Secretary to the Sangguniang Pamlungsod 1, the City Government Department Head position of the Sangguniang Pamlungsod Office is hereby duly carried and approved unanimously.
Alright, now presiding officer at this juncture, we are now on the third and final reading since we have none on the assignment portion. No assignment. Announcement. But anyway, for the announcement, anybody? Yes, the young, smart, and good-looking Honorable Waidulain. Honorable Waidulain. Yes. Sige, after Honorable Promoter. Yes.
Very good, Honorable Catalan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. But the members of the Committee on Games and Amusement will be having a committee hearing tomorrow at 1 p.m. This is with regards to the request of Engineer Franklin Gentiles with the operation of the Isabu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Catalan.
Honorable Renay.
Thank you, Honorable Renay.
By just hearing the word young, smart, and good-looking, he thought that it was backward after
Claiming the monopoly.
Anyway, Mr. President, thank you so much. I would like to request the members of the Finance Corporation to be with me this afternoon, starting on o'clock, because we'll be having a series of committee hearings under the Committee on Finance. Thank you, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Renay.
And anyways, I think nobody wants to have an assignment, announcement. At exactly 7 minutes past the hour of 11, motion to adjourn this 19th session.
Mr. Honorable Duali, to be seconded by Honorable Blase, Honorable Enad. Any comments, amendments, objections? Hearing none, session adjourned exactly 11 to 7 a.m.